Hi, everyone. My name is Lucas Mack, and welcome to another episode of The Vulnerable Hero, where I define vulnerability as the courage to experience love in its purest form. How are you feeling? It's the new year, 2019. It's already in full swing, and how are you feeling about it? Do you have some anxiety, some fear, or are you all excitement for what's to come? And have you set intentions for the year, resolutions? And do you have the slightest bit of angst that they may not come true? Or do you set intentions and resolutions only to know that you're not going to keep them? This is what I think the majority of us experience: excitement for what can be, and accepting of what will not be, and a little bit of fear of not fulfilling what we truly want to happen. If you are experiencing this is what I've been going through. I've been processing. I have all these dreams and visions, and then what if they don't come true? What if it doesn't happen? What if everything that's inside me doesn't come to fruition? And then I ask myself, well, why would it be inside me if it's not meant to come to fruition? Why would your dream be inside you if it wasn't meant to come forth? My answer and my understanding and my resolution to myself is that it is meant to come forth. So, how do we get there? How do we get our vision, our dream, our hopes and desires for our future to become reality? Now, this is the Vulnerable Hero podcast, and vulnerability is the courage to experience love in its purest form. And yet, in order to have courage in practice, to see courage be applied, one must face what one is most afraid of. So the first step is facing it. Facing what you are most afraid of. For many years of my life, I was afraid to look back. Maybe you're afraid to look forward. Maybe you're afraid to look back. Or maybe you're afraid to take stock of where you currently are right now. But the first step is to face it. Look at it. Square it straight in the eye. And acknowledge the fear that is in front of you, keeping you from your ultimate freedom, your ultimate dreams, destiny, and your purpose. Then it is to speak forth and speak to the fear. Where does the fear come from? Once you've faced it, which takes a lot of bravery, which takes a lot of courage to face the fear. And I don't mean fight or flight response. I don't mean face it to fight it. I mean face it to acknowledge it, to look at it straight in the eye. This takes a lot of courage. And then the next step is to speak to it. Speak to what you are afraid of. Speak to what made you afraid as a child. For men, the fear that you felt when you were getting hit, spanked, hit with belts. For women, maybe the fear you felt if the same thing happened to you. I don't know, whatever fear you felt. And sadly in our society, and I want to keep this gender neutral. However, sadly in our society, it's typically men who are the perpetrators of making children and people feel unsafe. So, men, this is not about fight or flight. This is simply, and women, simply to face your fear and speak to it. And get everything out that is within inside you. To get it out of the tank. Whatever you're holding on to because you're afraid to face and speak to what you're most afraid of, you get to let it out, to speak forth every painful memory and everything you wished you would have said. There is no judgment for you processing you. There is no judgment for you processing you. The purpose is for you to be free, for you to experience what you're setting out for in the beginning of the year to accomplish. So, men, you get to process that. And my fellow sisters, you get to process that, what you're most afraid of, and speak to it. And then you get to surround yourself with people who love you unconditionally, who support you for your dreams, not theirs, who honor you and who want to see the best for you. To surround yourself with those types of people, it also means you get to leave people that don't fit in that bucket. And that's okay. For a lot of men, you feel this sense of loyalty. Well, I've been with them through thick and thin. But if thick and thin then isn't serving you for now, it's okay to be free, to not live with obligation, to not live with a sense of guilt and shame for you wanting to pursue you. Because remember, it's your dream and it should come forth. You're deserving of your dreams to come forth. So you get to surround yourself with people who love you. And then you get to surrender. Surrender to what's brought you to this place, but also surrender to what will be. Because this is what I know about hurt people. Hurt people protect themselves from being hurt. But that continual, perpetual cycle of protecting themselves from being hurt only ends up hurting themselves more because they're not healed. And hurt people. So the collateral damage of you trying to protect yourself actually ends up hurting those around you. So you get to surrender. Be completely open-armed and acknowledge all things are as they should be. You would not be the person you are today, capable of achieving the dreams that you have deep inside you, had you not gone through everything you have gone through. So you get to acknowledge it. You get to give thanks to every person for the perfect role that they played in your life, those that have hurt you and those who have helped you, for all things have worked together for your good. So it's face it, speak to it, surround yourself with people, surrender to what is so that you may receive it. The fifth step is receiving it. You see, your dream, your vision, the goals, the resolutions that you set out for the year, this is the beginning of the year, those are worthy and valid and worthy to be accomplished and felt and experienced. However, if you go into the year with fear or a disbelief that they will ever happen, guess what? They'll never happen. And if you go into the year setting goals for yourself, hoping to see something become better, but you know that you're not going to stick with it, well, then it's not going to happen. See, it all comes down to speaking the truth and experiencing the truth. So after you surrender, you can receive all that is good for you and receive the dream that you have deep inside. Life is not complicated when you are clear and walking in the power of your vulnerability. Because Vulnerability is the courage to experience love in its purest form, and love always gives. Love is constantly giving. It never not gives. It is unconditional. Love loves love always. Love loves always. Love always. It is constant. So, you experiencing the fullness of love is you receiving love and receiving your dreams and receiving all that you have deep down inside of you. The reason the majority of humanity is not experiencing the dreams that they truly want to live is because they are unwilling to get vulnerable. And to become vulnerable, you must have the courage to face it, to speak to it, to surround yourself with people who keep you in a healthy state and safe so that you can surrender fully that you may receive it. That is the model. And those of us, the vulnerable heroes, who are willing to stand in strength and power and acknowledge vulnerability, which leaves us exposed, but also the heroic nature of being courageous enough to do that and combining those two, this is what the world is craving right now in 2019. So, I am excited for you. I'm excited for me. This is a big year for those vulnerable heroes willing to experience love in its purest form. So I know who I'm talking to, and I'm looking at you, and I'm telling you, and I'm speaking to you, and I'm telling you, you don't have to strive for anything. You simply get to stop, face it, speak to it, surround yourself with people who love you, surrender to love that you may receive it. And love will give you the deepest desire of your heart, of your dreams, far greater than you've ever imagined, because love loves you. And this isn't some woo-woo narrative. This is simply a practical equation to receive the greatness that is life. You don't have to think about breathing to get breath in your lungs. You can get more breath in your lungs if you're intentional about your breaths, and there's much benefit to that. However, it's just a natural order. You breathe and oxygen fills your body. You face it, speak to it, surround yourself with people, surrender that you may receive it, is the state of living a life of your dreams. And there's nothing you have to buy, and there's nothing you have to do to strive and achieve. And if you become a better person, no, you simply get to face it, heal the pain, become whole in yourself that you may live and show love to a world that desperately needs love. For men, you get to hold your children gently. You get to make every person feel safe in the room. Whatever room you walk into, people don't look at you as, oh, that's a person that could hurt me. They look at you and say, that's a person who can protect me. And women, the same goes for you. This is not gender specific. This is for all. Yet, most people feel unsafe around men. So men, yes, it's about being strong, but strong in vulnerability. Strong in love. Strong in goodness and gentleness and faith and temperance and meekness. Strong in the good things of this world. So that people feel safe. So that they can go out and achieve their dreams. My dear friends, thank you for watching, listening, being part of the Vulnerable Hero podcast. I am so excited for 2019 as we journey together towards the path of freedom because we are vulnerable heroes. I'm Lucas Mack, and I'll talk to you on the next episode.